Have you ever seen sparkles of light or tiny little glints that just kind of happen out of nowhere? Whether you're in meditation or just feeling a lot of peace, it's actually an experience that happens to many people. In some cultures, it has a meaning. So we're going to dive deep into this. I'm going to tell you about my experience and what it means. What seeing sparkles could mean from a very mindful or spiritual context. First, it started off as something that I wasn't sure about, and so I started to ignore. But then as time moved on and I started to experience this more and practicing meditation, I really was present when these occurrences would happen. It's actually something that happened today, and I recorded this video before, but then this is the first time that I experienced it at work with somebody, and I felt the desire to ask the person that I was with, because I felt very safe with her, to see if she could see the sparkles. And she confirmed to me that she couldn't see anything. I told her, I was like, do you see those sparkles? They're literally surrounding us. And she was like, no. She's quite spiritual, so like I said, it's like a safe zone. But that was the first time that I've actually brought it up to someone being in the same exact room as me. Nonetheless, it's something that occurs in the shower. It's something that occurs in the midst of anything. Like I could even be talking to someone and I just start seeing it. And oftentimes it evokes a very peaceful sense. Like I feel so peaceful and content in those moments when it's occurring. And I started to think to myself, like, really what this means. And it almost has this way of bringing me into the present. Like I am so fully present in those moments that having that experience adds more to it, and it adds more like of this sort of present nature where, I don't know, I started learning about the aspect of how an enlightened being can actually be in three places at once. So they can reside in the past, present, and future, which states that there's this natural essence of understanding of time and space. I wonder if I'm experiencing little moments of that, but who knows? So I'm going to continue talking about my story, but what happens is that it happens oftentimes when I'm in the shower, and I always shower at the end of every day, and it's the moment where I feel a lot of peace, and it's like wrapping up my day, I'm getting ready for bed. There's a sense of like cleansing and purification that occurs. And so I'll just give you an example of what I see, but usually there's just like little sparkles here, 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 and they're all kind of like moving in emotion, and I feel like they're moving in the field. So I don't know if you're familiar with Maxwell Planck and Einstein's theory of relativity and how we have a field, and it's not about just the two objects or the atoms that are in the space, it's actually about the space as well. There's this essence of peace, and what you see are like a light here, a light here, a light here, a light here, and it's like a glittering thing that they all seem like these little floating fairies or objects. It's really light, and I would say most of them are about the same size, but there's like a glint to it. Somebody described this perfectly, but just like if you look at sun shining on snow, and like what happens, there's that sort of iridescent rainbow color that arises. It's kind of like that. Nonetheless, it's a very peaceful feeling, and it kind of forces me to be more so in the present. So in Mahayana Buddhism, light is seen as a sort of sign of wisdom or purification, and or even a sense of understanding of emptiness, and even a subtle perception of reality. And these days I've been really engulfing myself in the idea of emptiness and how everything is just a fabrication of what our mind is believing, and that things outside of us are not truly the reality of what's actually happening. And the reality of what's happening is just what's residing in our head and how we formulate ideas and everything that we are today is a fabrication of everything that we've experienced, our environment, how we have decided to make decisions based off of the things that we either consider happen to us or challenge us, or in essence, it's just that we are in charge of our response, and that everything is in our mind and it's all a perception. So what Mahayana Buddhism believes is that it's just getting closer to this perception of reality, which goes so hand in hand with what I've been experiencing lately, because I'm in this kind of weird leeway of understanding that a lot of my own perception of reality has been so false. It's like unlearning these ideals that I thought were true and being able to see the truth, or the ultimate truth. Like for me, I just had this moment of clarity, and it really kind of allowed me to see more clearly like who this person was, just by asking her a question about this picture that she had on her desk. And it was of this man hunched over working outside. He was working hard, and it was obvious, when she's having a hard time at work, this picture reminds her of how lucky she is and how hard her own father worked. So that image is a picture of her father, which is so inspiring and so touching for me. And that's when I started to see that light. What Mahayana Buddhists believe is that some of these signs could just be a subtle hint into something deeper that you can explore. So what are we supposed to do when we experience this? First and foremost thing not to do is to sit and kind of observe what was going on through your mind, what was happening in that state. How are you feeling? And start to really dig a little bit deeper into your own awareness. And then after that is to not chase the idea of what this is, and not chase the necessity and the grasping of needing to experience this once again. It's so easy to just be like, and I really appreciate this word of wisdom, because I'm guilty of experiencing lucid dreaming and then falling out of it and not being able to be lucid. So it's like natural for all of us to go through these waves of growth, and nothing is always going to stay the same. Things need to evolve and shift and grow, and we can be easily propelled into the next experience that could be even more deeper and more profound in so many ways. But until we learn how to surrender and let go and just continue on and accept things as they are and have integrity, I feel like that is the number one thing. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm glad I redid this. It's really coming down here in LA, and I'm really happy about it, to be honest. But I'm sending y'all the love, and I'll see you soon. Bye.